I don't know how you
What are my
work.
options? What are my options?
I mean, in general, he's just asking. He doesn't. He's not really sure. Obviously, they're going to stock it with as much medicine and tools as possible, but he wasn't sure like if you have any special requirements for your living quarters or your med bay. Some doctors are very particular about things. Some are not. So he's just asking you if you have any specifics. If not, that's okay.
Standard equipment will be fine, and nothing special for my quarters.
All right, he says. Well, I guess I will see you to your room. And Darren and Trissy, I'll show you to your apartment.
Thanks, man.
Crystal, as you are making your way through this vault, half of the people here seem to be acting like this is just normal day to day. The other half look very frightened and very scared. It seems like you can hear the sounds of various other aliens here talking about, why couldn't their dad come with them, or why couldn't their mom come with them, or, talking about their families that they've either lost or they have lost contact with or have been unable to bring here for one reason or another, or maybe they couldn't get here for one reason or another. So for the most part, while half of the people here seems hopeful, the other half seems like, the other half feels very dismal.
Okay, do you want me to react to that?
You can if you want. You don't have to. I'm just throwing it out there that's what you're observing as you're going through the vault.
Okay.
Am I still with him at this point?
Yes, you are.
Oh,
And
okay.
so is Trissy.
Okay.
And if just have a little bit of inside view of Crystal's head right now, is that okay?
Sure, if you want.
So it's just flashback. It's a very blurry, very not crystal clear memory
Yeah, I see what you did there.
of her, the incident that got the scar on her head. So it's just people on two sides shouting at each other, and Crystal holding a gun towards someone we don't see for the audience, and she's just like shouting something that we don't really hear. And then as the tension intensifies, she points the gun back at her head, like this. And then the vision goes back to she's seeing the children missing, talking about missing their parents.
Parents. Mm-hmm. Okay. But you don't approach any of them?
No.
No. Okay.
She's still kind of shell-shocked from the whole, from the event and from being discharged.
Darren, you do kind of notice that Crystal has sort of zoned out a little bit. I don't know if you react to that at all, at her being zoned out.
Okay. Cheery bunch you got here. Then he notices here. You okay or something?
There's no reaction from her. She didn't hear you, actually.
Talk to her.
Miss Chen, Trissy asks. Miss Chen. That's when you come out of your vision, whatever was in your head. You actually hear Trissy that time.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Are you all right? You sort of zoned out there for a moment.
I'm fine. Thank you for your concern.
The look on your face looked just like Darren's whenever I use big words around him. You know, Darren, those big words.
I'm pretty sure you made most of them up.
She says, "You'll never know, because you never bothered to look any of them up."
Well, I could, but that just seems like so much effort.
Watch out for that one, she says to Crystal. He's lazy.
I am the model citizen, you're just overly critical.
I have a feeling you're going to find him in your clinic a lot, she says. He gets
Wow.
hurt a lot, mostly from me.
Trying to make a good first impression here. You're not helping.
Oh, I'm sorry, she says. My apologies. How is Crystal, by the way, reacting to this brother-sister banter?
Kind of not paying attention.
Not paying attention? Okay.
Right. She's
Okay.
looking everywhere, trying to study the layout of the vault so that she can build a mental map of the whole place.
Gotcha. Back to Lun and Rowlett. You guys have managed to make your way to the where all the explosions were taking place, and you see that there are a few of the Volus husks searching around and looking for the rest of the citizens. They manage to find a few of them and start to attack. It is this point that Niha, you guys are behind cover right now, and she's like aiming towards one of the husks. She fires just as one is about to grab a hold of this Quarian girl, this Quarian child, and what appears to be possibly her brother, maybe. And the Volus falls down dead. And she's got, that's 5 for me. How many have you got so far, Aya?
Are you only on 5? Come on, get in the game.
What number are you at? She asks.
7.
I think I probably wounded that 6th one that you hit, Kill Stealer. She says in a huff.
You know you love it when I do that, darling.
Lun, how are you contributing to this fight?
Lun's just literally just staring at them that morning when they're just like doing kill counts. So it's like, you're really kill counting. And then just kind of shakes his head.
She says, honey, when you've seen the things that we've seen, we have to do anything that we can to keep us from going mad. And sometimes making light of situations like this is what helps keep our cool.
Besides, come on, they look ridiculous in the first place, those things.
With
They
that,
explode in such funny ways.
with that, he's gonna use the biotic pull to pull the 2 children towards them for safety. I guess that's rolling my biotic dice, isn't it?
You try to pull them into safety, but I think they're running around so much, frantically trying to avoid the Volus, that you miss with that specific pull. I will let you try again one more time, though.
Lun kind of curses under his breath, being like, stand still, and gives it one more attempt.
You make one more attempt, and just when another Volus is about to snatch up the girl, you pull the 2 of them towards your direction, and it's at that point that Aya fires her sniper rifle and is able to hit the Volus, and at least in the knee to slow it down from catching up to the kids. The fight wages on. The Volus horde continues to grow, as if from nowhere they emerge, and things are getting very heated, very overwhelming. And it's at this point that Niha actually is starting to look a little, she's starting to perspire a little. She's starting to feel a little uneased by the sheer number, and she yells out at Ai and says, I think there's too many of them.
Getting scared?
She says, you know me, she says, as brash as I am, so when I'm concerned about these kinds of things, you kind of probably should pay attention.
Yeah, they do seem to rise like zombies constantly, so maybe it's time we just peace out.
Strategic retreat. Sounds good. You two stay close. As well as you two. She's like talking to the Quarian, the brother and sister Quarian that Lun had helped save. With that, you guys start to make your retreat. While you are making your retreat, the swarm again starts to hone in on you, which causes the two of you to split. It's at this point that Aya and Luna go one way, and Niha and the brother and sister end up being forced to go in another direction.
Sorry, what way did Voto end up being forced in?
Voto staying with you. She's staying with you. So you and Voto are going with Aya. The brother and sister are going with Niha. You were forced to split up, at least temporarily. Aya is doing what she can to keep the Volus away. They're probably too close on you to effectively use your sniper rifle. Do you have a secondary weapon for closer range, Dark?
No.
Okay.
I couldn't afford one.
Okay. Go ahead.
I'm just wondering if it's worth me... I could status it and freeze it while we make a run for it.
Yes. Roll your stasis.
As they're struggling, as that one's catching up, Lun will kind of like raise his hand to try and freeze it in place.
You begin to try to freeze the Volus in place. Several of them, however, have already managed to tackle Aya to the ground. You hear Niha shout her name as Aya gets tackled, and the Volus begin to start essentially trying to tear right through her kinetic barrier and her armor. She gets beaten very badly. Aya does her best to try to keep the Volus out of her, but it's just way too overwhelming as your life probably flashes through your eyes. Fortunately, before things look very dire, Lun is able to cast the stasis to freeze the Volus in place. At this point, Niha and the brother and sister manage to catch up back to you, and it looks like Aya is unconscious.
Lun's literally going to start like doing the first aid with like the Medi-gel, like pulls up Omni tool. So mine gives me
roll a heal. Yeah, roll the whatever the heal check is. Medicine, I think.
Well, I guess it'll be first aid because it's on the field.
Yep.
I guess that'll take some of my Medi-gel as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah. But Aya looks badly wounded. You're able to patch up her wounds quickly such that the bleeding at least begins to stop, but she still does not completely recover. She still does not regain consciousness. Niha basically... Go ahead.
Lun will kind of look to Niha going, I can only do this until we get actual cover. Where's your ship?
Niha says, towards that direction, and she's pointing towards the direction where all of the Volus is coming from. And she basically takes Aya and she hauls her over her shoulder, and she says, we're going to have to run. Keep them away from us, she tells you and the others. Voto is using her tech drones to distract the Volus, while the older brother uses some of his tech shields to try to keep the Volus at bay as best as he can. Meanwhile, down in the vault, Crystal, Chen, and Darren, there is an alarm that goes off, and hear someone running up to Charles. Charles says, "What's going on? What's the meaning of this?" And he says, "Charles, the Reapers, they're on this planet. Do they know where we are yet? Have they discovered this place?" "I don't think so, but we need to seal the vault now." "We can't seal the vault now," he says. "There's still people out there. They're still getting more supplies for us." Sir, like, we have to do, it's either now or never. If we cannot risk having the Reapers find us now. We've worked so hard for this. Charles looks very troubled. Fine. Send one more signal out to everyone in the vicinity that they need to come here now. If they aren't here in the next 10 minutes, we're closing the vault and we're sealing it. Yes, understood. And his assistant leaves. At this point, he turns towards Trissy and Darren and Crystal and says, well, looks like we're gonna be together for a good while now, he says. Meanwhile, while Lun and Aya and Niha and the rest of the Quarians are making a run for it, Niha seems like she's getting some sort of a signal, like some sort of burst communication into her suit, and she says, "What is that?" "Yes, I've got the coordinates. All right, you," she says to all of you. "All of you, follow me. This might be our only chance." You guys rush over, and you actually see a few other people who you did not see on this planet, dressed up in, not necessarily in military suits, but more like blue-collar worker suits, like people who are under construction. And they all seem to be moving towards a single point ahead of you. At this point, thanks to Lun's biotics, you actually are able to keep the Volus quite a distance away from you as you make your way towards where everybody is congregating. You go into what appears to be a hatch, a small hatch that a lot of people are diving into down a spiral-like staircase. And you find yourselves now in a fascinating underground hangar of sorts. The people are moving towards this gigantic-looking vault door. Again, think Fallout, if any of you have played Fallout. And at this point, Voto says, "Kila, what is going on down here?" "I have no idea," Niha says. I think they just sent a signal out to everyone in the vicinity, and I managed to get a hold of it. I don't know who these people are, but for the time being, I'd rather be down here than up there." You guys make your way inside the door, and you can hear several people say, "Come on, quickly! She says, we need to put up the heat blockers, quick! We need to put up the heat blockers immediately so that they don't find us down here." You guys make your way into the vault. The door slowly creaks shut behind you, and several of the people start sealing it up. Niha starts to protest. Wait, what's happening? What's going on? No, none of the workers seem to be answering her questions because they're so occupied and are scrambling to get whatever it is that they're trying to do at the vault sealed. I don't know if Lun reacts to any of this.
Lun's kind of actually looking over Aya, seeing that they're now out of the snow. He's going to see if he can actually do a better job of patching her up.
Crystal, you actually see all this commotion, because with everything that's been going on, it's kind of hard for people not to start making their way towards the main entrance of the vault. And you do see that several citizens have managed to come in. You can hear Lun banging from the other side of the door. Muffled voices are screaming, let us in, who didn't manage to reach the door of the vault on time. And you can see several of the workers shaking their head, and some of them are like, I'm sorry, we can't. I'm sorry, we can't. And they continue sealing up the vault. Crystal, you do see that there is a Quarian that has a heavily wounded soldier, it seems like, on her shoulder. And the Quarian is asking, if nobody's going to answer my questions, then at least, please, do you have a doctor? Is somebody here well versed in medicine? What do you do, Crystal?
Well, she makes her way to the to Niha.
You make your way to the Quarian. By the time you reach her, Lun is trying to use some basic first aid on Aya, and just by looking at her with the naked eye, you can tell that at this point, first aid is not going to help very much. It looks like this woman is clearly in critical condition.
We need to get her to the infirmary now.
The Niha looks towards you. Are you a doctor?
Yes.
All right. She hauls over and she makes her way over to the infirmary. Darren, what are you doing during all this confusion? A lot of people are running around at the moment. It seems like people are not only at the vault door, but they are at various places around the vault. It looks like they're checking. They're checking what looks like control consoles throughout the area, checking to make sure that the power is up, checking to make sure the plumbing is up, checking to make sure that whatever cloaking or whatever it is that they're doing to hide their location is online. Everybody around here is busy, and the people that are not running around are sort of huddled in a corner, scared, and you hear some of them praying to whatever gods that they believe in that they aren't found, that the Reapers did not see them go down into the vault.
Is Charles still with me?
Charles is not immediately next to you. He's sort of by the entrance of the vault giving orders.
Okay. Well, I'll go over to him and see what he needs me to do then.
He turns to you and says, Darren, I want you to... I'm trying to think. So you're a soldier, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I couldn't really think of anything useful for my character to be doing.
He throws you. I don't remember what the what keys, how they use as keys in the future, but he throws you something that basically says, those are the keys to the armory. I want you to go in there and just double check to make sure, just double check the inventory there, just in case we need them. This might be our last stand, and I just want to make sure our inventory is ready to be passed out to the people here.
Okay, my character will run off and do that.
Okay. While you're doing that, what is Lun doing?
Kind of when Chen kind of shouted like, "I'm the doctor," he kind of jumped and kind of gave a slight squeak noise, and then shuffled back to let her in because obviously better doctor than him.
Okay.
Well, and the official doctor. I can guess probably after throwing all those bottles around, he's probably feeling kind of worn out.
Okay.
He's just kind of keeping close to Voto. He'll kind of follow Niha as well.
Okay. Crystal, yes.
Question.
Yes.
Out of character. Who was banging on the door? At first I was confused. I thought no one was outside the vault door.
There were some stragglers, some people who came down the hatch, who didn't make it to the vault door in time.
So Voto is inside the vault.
Voto is in the vault. Yes. Voto is in the vault.
Okay. Thanks.
You rush the Aya's body into the infirmary, Crystal, and then you place her onto the table. She's lost a lot of blood. Roll a medicine check, please. Do you have any specializations in medicine? Just out of curiosity.
Trauma surgeon.
Yes.
Is this like shrapnel or gunshot wound, or was it attack? Like
Mauling. Yes.
Is it the same?
I would say it's about the same. I would consider the same. If you want to use your specialization for this, go ahead and use your specialization. 14. Very nice. Okay. You were able to assess her vital signs and determine that she's lost a lot of blood. In order to save her life, you are going to need to administer a blood transfusion immediately.
But I'll need to test for blood type.
Correct. You do.
would there be equipment in
Yes.
at the ready? Because since the question was only asked of me not a few minutes ago.
Yes. You would take a quick assessment of what you have, and everything that you believe you need for this procedure is there and ready to go. You just need to find a candidate. Of course, there's a lot of people running around. It's kind of hard. It might be a little bit challenging for you to find a candidate this very moment, but anyway.
Then, who is visibly in charge? Is it just Charles?
It seems like Charles is the one calling the shots. Yes.
Then Crystal goes up to Charles and asks him to make an announcement, like a vault-wide announcement.
Okay. You find out that Aya's blood type is AB. Okay. What do you do? Charles looks like he's I guess what do you actually say to him when you approach him? Because Charles seems to be very distracted right now. So you approach him, and then what do you say to him?
So, Aya's uniform is visibly Alliance.
Your uniform is correct.
Aya's.
Aya's uniform is not Alliance. Actually, Dark, can you give a description of her outfit? What is she wearing? What is Aya wearing?
She's wearing a white, no, not white. Her uniform is red with white stripes down. Like she is a solo mercenary, not Alliance at all. Like it's very obvious that she is not affiliated with any military, but also not with any of the big mercenary groups.
So it's unfamiliar.
Yeah.
Armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's custom paint job.
Custom. Yep.
And there must be other people in need of surgery as well, right?
Yeah. There's been a few of the people that managed to go in are a bunch of Quarians that were attacked. Aya seems to be the one in the most dire need of care. But yes, there are several wounded as well that are right now starting to line up outside of the infirmary.
Wait. This is
A quick question: is Lun and Voto there? Because I think they followed Nihad. Did Nia
Sure.
follow with?
Yeah. Oh
Aya?
yeah. Niha's definitely right next to Aya.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you're there too, then yes, you can say something.
Lun seeing kind of Chen looking a little bit overwhelmed. It's like, I may not be a fully fledged doctor, but I'm good at first aid and I know some medicine. I can help if need be.
Please keep an eye on her. I have to go and get the commander to call in and volunteer for blood transfusion.
Of course.
Niha is still hovering over Aya, and she's sort of is clutching her hand right now.
Lun kind of will just like patch up what he can.
You hear Niha. By the way, you hear Niha saying something towards Aya's direction. He says, "Come on, Aya. This is just a scratch. You can get through this. If you do, I'll let you take target practices towards my helmet."
Ouch.
Lun kind of will be like, I'm sorry, I should have done something sooner.
It's all right, she says. I don't think we have been able to get this far without your biotics. Good job out there, by the way. I only hope it was enough.
A lot of people
God.
didn't get saved, did they?
Niha says, "We can't worry about that right now. We can't worry about what had happened. We can only look at what we're going to be doing moving forward."
With that, he kind of nods and does the best he can to kind of make sure Aya's not going to bleed out while Chen's...
Roll a medicine check. You managed to patch her. You managed to keep at least her stable. stable, at least for now. But you definitely agree that this woman's going to need a transfusion shortly. Crystal, go ahead. You approach Charles. He is barking orders to people right now. Check the gauges. Make sure everything is running smoothly. How is it looking up there? Sir, it doesn't seem like the Reapers have yet discovered our entrance. That's good. That's good. That's when Crystal approaches him.
Sir,
Yes, Chen. Quickly, please.
I need blood in the infirmary. We have a badly wounded warrior who needs blood transfusion right now.
Do you know the
I
type?
need you to make a call.
Do you know the type?
Her blood type is AB.
Here, he says, and he gives you his radio. Make the announcement.
Would I have enough authority?
Is that what you're
Or
asking
doesn't-
him in character?
No. Out of character.
Okay. You don't. If you're wondering that, then you're wondering that. He's handing Crystal the radio. Whether or not she says anything at that point is up to you.
Attention! I need a volunteer of blood type AB to come to the infirmary right now. We need urgent blood transfusion for someone who need not die right now.
Darren, you're finishing up. You're finishing up the inventory inside the vault, and when you hear this announcement, you realize you have blood type AB.
Okay. Well, hearing that, I will go run to the infirmary then.
Okay. You, as you leave, one of the other vault people who was down there with you, helping you with the inventory, says that he'll wrap things up for you, and tells you just get to the infirmary quickly.
Thanks, man. And yeah, off he went.
Good job, Crystal, Charles says. Way to take charge. I'm glad to have you here, Charles says.
Thank you, sir. And returns the radio.
When you get back to the infirmary, Crystal, Darren has arrived. What
Okay,
happens?
he's probably. I was just gonna say he's probably sitting on one of the beds very casually, like as if he's part of the furniture, really. So you need the volunteer.
Are you the volunteer?
Seems like we keep running into each other today. I'm the right blood type.
That's good.
You don't take any drugs, do you? Niha asks.
Well, that's a very personal question. Not recently, no.
This is a very personal situation, she says, eyeing you
I'm
suspiciously.
just messing with you now, not for a few years. You're good.
You are going to check to make sure, right, Doc? Niha says.
Yes. It's a good question to ask.
Why does no one ever trust me?
I'm assuming that question was rhetorical, Niha says.
Pretty much.
Trust needs to be earned.
Pardon?
Trust needs to be earned.
Ah,
By not
Yeah,
killing me.
Yes. Go ahead and make another specialization trauma check. You manage to successfully perform the blood transfusion from Darren into Aya, and with the rest of your procedure, you're able to keep Aya stable. She is still unconscious though, and you're wondering how soon she will have before she comes out of this coma that she appears to be in. But you're keeping track of her vital signs as much as possible. Yes, do you have something to say, Yi?
Was the blood clean?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, you did check. Darren's blood is clean. He doesn't have any deadly diseases as far as you can tell. He has
What about
doesn't
signs of drugs?
Darren, did you out of character, is your blood clean from drugs? Out of character?
Yeah.
Okay.
My character is honest. He did used to, but he hasn't done so in a couple of years.
Okay. So I don't think that there'd be traces of it left. I don't. Maybe you might have seen something, but I doubt 2 years later you would. I doubt you would see anything.
He was never like big on it anyway, just occasionally.
Right.
So
Neha was actually right to ask. Her instinct was actually right. Sort of. It's actually right.
sort of.
Yes, infiltrators need to be cautious about those kind of things. So, you're able to keep her stable, and by this point, things have quieted down in the vault. There appears to be some... the spirits within the vault is relatively high in the sense that whatever was going on the outside, it seems to have passed. The Reapers did not seem to notice your location, your locale. But at the same time, there's also uncertainty. There's uncertainty of what's going to happen now. How long do you have to stay there? Is Shepard going to be successful? Because if he is successful, then you don't have to stay here for very long. But if he's not successful, there's just a lot of uncertainty. And Charles seems very worried, Darren, because if you remember, he was saying that they didn't get all the supplies that they meant to get. There were still people out there that were making runs for food, and they never made it back in time. So far, the Bravo Squad, the tone of Bravo Squad storyline is a little different from the main squad, if you guys have noticed. Main squad's a little more lighthearted. Bravo Squad is more focused. Boom, you guys are in the thick of things. So we'll see where this keeps going. There's a little bit more of a serious tone to you guys. Got a little bit of a different feel, and I was doing that on purpose. It is now 8 months later. You guys have been in the vault for 8 months now. And again, Charles has done, and his group has done a pretty decent job of being able to get you guys the supplies that you need to at least survive up to this point. You've got, the pantries are filled with food. There is an area, like an indoor garden of some sort, where you guys are growing food. And right now, supplies are decent. However, there always seems to be, Darren, you're always catching some sort of... Charles seems to be worried about how long this is going to take. You guys have heard reports. Every now and then, there is... You know, Darren, that there's like a feed that comes in. Charles actually knocks on your apartment door, and he looks like he hasn't slept in a while. His eyes are red.
You okay, man?
Yeah, he says. We don't normally try to draw in signals as much as possible so that, to keep ourselves hidden, but
Yeah.
the last set of signals that we got, apparently, the Crucible was completed.
Well, that's
And
good,
it
right?
actually was active. It actually was sent to Earth. That's where Shepard and his crew ended up in. It sounds like Shepard and the crew never made it.
Yeah, he's going to curse at that.
So, I think we're here for the long haul, unfortunately.
At least we're here.
Yeah. He looks very troubled. How are you and your sister holding out?
You know me, I'm getting by fine. Yeah, Trissy's not going to be happy about this. Well, I can't imagine anyone is.
I guess it probably won't help to tell her we told her so.
Probably not. At least you saved this many people, you know?
Yeah. Well, we don't know that yet. But I'm being hopeful.
Well, yeah, we have to be.
Meanwhile, Lun, life over here inside of the vault hasn't been too bad. It's honestly not that different from how life was on the fleet only you're not on a ship.
Yeah.
Everybody here, I mean, it's again, it's a small community kind of feel. There are a good number of Quarians here, many of whom are from your ship. You find out that the brother and sister, the two that you had saved outside, are named Salo Vera. Salo is the older brother. And the other one is Nilu Vara. Out of character, Salo Vera is Quinton's character.
Okay.
If you remember about him and his little sister from his interview. So that's them. They made it onto the vault.
Yeah, save them.
Yay, one-shot characters. Yay. Good. So Quinton, go ahead and thank Dark Elf Emsby because she made it so that you could actually play. Your character's still alive. All right. Luna, you ended up getting a little bit of a fever one morning, which I mean isn't that uncommon for Quarians. And you end up going into Crystal's infirmary to have yourself checked. While you go into her infirmary, you look off to the side and you notice that Aya is still there in a coma 8 months later.
He'll kind of look and then sigh and then be like, Dr. Chen, are you in here?
Yes. Who is it?
Lun Falan.
How may I help you today?
I was just wondering if you had any probiotic tea or something. I just feel a bit off weather.
Okay, go ahead, Yi.
Do we have those materials? Because they are not counted as part of our equipment.
The what material you're asking for again, Darkel?
He just kind of asked for like the herbal teas, like Tally drinks them.
I don't think
immune system.
I don't think Dr. Chen has any of that.
Didn't think so.
So how does Dr. Chen respond? You don't have any of that.
Will she know that it's Korean tea, or is that common throughout?
She would, I mean, okay, yes, I think that she would know that Quarians must have their own type of tea that they can consume because I'm sure as a medic or a doctor you know very well about dextro-based creatures and their physiology. So they do have dextro-based food and sources of dextro-based food down here in the vault, but as far as tea goes, I think that's a luxury that never quite made it to the vault.
I do not believe we have that in stock. But what seems to be the problem?
As I said, I woke up feeling a little feverish. I was wondering if there was something to boost my immune system the best it was possible.
Based on your knowledge of your species, what is the most common treatment that will be applicable in this case?
An antibiotic?
Any specific brand? Because
not that I can think of off the top of my head.
Because I understand we don't have the same metabolic system.
No, we don't. Sorry for wasting your time. I'll be fine. I guess I'm just a little under the weather. If
No, don't leave. Stay.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Finish your scene.
Stay. I just need more information.
of course, I guess could do an examination if possible.
Yes, let me try. And then she will put on as much layer of protection as possible, not to protect herself, but to protect.
Yeah.
Lun. And specifically what is being done, I'm not sure.
You're just going to check her vital signs, determine what type of antibiotics, if necessary, she needs. So that would just be a medicine check. I don't think you have a specialization Quarian physiology. So if you do, then yeah, you can use that specialization roll otherwise. Okay. 18. All right. You have some basic knowledge about Quarian physiology, and you are able to determine the right antibiotics that she will need. You believe that there is something within your supplies that you're able to administer to her to make her feel better. Uh-huh.
With the mask off, right? With part of the suit off? Or is it just using a kind of sensor to examine Lun's physiology?
I think you can do it as a sensor. I think I'd like to believe that you're able to do this without having to remove any of her suit.
Okay.
Some sort of diagnostics of some sort.
And okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Is that done? Or...
Once you determine the antibiotics and while you're administering it to her, Charles Reese appears at the door. Miss Chen, if I may have a word with you, please.
Yes, sir. And I can just dismiss Lun, or still keeping him here for...
Just keep him around.
Okay.
You're not quite completely done with him yet.
Stay here, please.
Of course.
And she goes over to Charles.
Charles talks to you in a low voice. If you want to overhear what they're saying, Lun, I would say roll a hearing check. Actually, roll a hearing check anyway.
Would that be perception, wouldn't it?
Perception.
Oh god, this might end horribly. Horrible.
Faintly. You can hear faintly their conversation, but I'll tell you what Crystal is hearing directly from Charles. He says, Miss Chen, I've been meaning to ask you. I've been avoiding it for quite some time because I think it's a delicate situation. About your patient, and he glances towards Aya.
Yes.
She has not yet shown signs of wakening, correct?
No.
I understand that the life support system that is keeping her stable uses up a lot of power and energy.
Yes, I'm aware.
Then you understand why we're discussing this matter right now. I don't think we can afford to keep her indefinitely on that system, on that machine.
Please give me another week. We are in need of people with her skills.
Yeah. From what Miss Neha has been telling me, she is definitely a fighter, which is why she has convinced me that Rowlett is going to get through this. However, we also have to think about what little resources we have down here, and it's very limited, as you can imagine.
I will stay in the infirmary. If you need to cut power to my quarters, please do so.
What do you suggest we should do if after a week she does not recover, she does not wake up? She hasn't woken up in 8 months, so you'll understand my skepticism. What another week would do.
Then we take her off life support.
Lun, you actually managed to overhear enough to kind of get that they're talking about Aya and what to do about Aya in her state. I don't know if Lun chimes in or if he doesn't, acts as if he didn't hear anything.
He knows that it's not his place to argue with the people who are running the thing. He actually might go to Neha and tell her.
Okay. All right. So you don't say anything there.
No.
All right. Charles says, "Very well, Miss Chen. Keep doing what you're doing then. I will see you in a week."
Thank you,
leaves. You go look for Neha. Neha right now She is actually in the mess hall. She's actually eating across from Darren. They're having lunch right now. And Niha, for the first couple of months, she's been pretty down in the dumps because she's been worried about Aya. But she's sort of relaxed a little bit, although you can probably guess that Aya's, well-being is still on the back of her mind right now. Niha, while she's having lunch with Darren, she says, "So, Darren, what were you doing before all of this? It seems like that is the thing that people talk about nowadays, so I might as well ask you."
I did a lot of things before all of this. You're gonna have to be more specific.
She says, "Would you rather I asked your sister instead? I would think you would prefer it come from you than from her sister, who I'm sure has many stories to tell."
Yeah, she has many stories. Fair point. Charles.
Yes, he seems like an alright man, calling the shots out here. Our proverbial mayor, if you wish to refer to him as such.
I used to work for him. Then things sort of went south, and I was living on the Citadel for a while.
I see. So the main reason why you are here is because you're good friends with the leader himself. Not necessarily because of any of your skills or value.
Thanks. You do wonders for my confidence.
I'm only following suit with your sister. I like her. She reminds me of myself sometimes.
Yeah, I think she likes you too for some reason. It's a great mystery why, But yeah, I have my own skills.
It is at this point that Lun appears.
He kind of running quite flustered, like, Miss Sarrel.
Ah, yes, Lun. What can I do for you? Have a seat. We're having lunch.
I don't know how best is to break to you, but I was in the doctor's surgery and I overheard something pretty disturbing.
She asks, "Well, go ahead, spit it out."
They want to take her off life support next week if she doesn't wake up.
At this point, Niha quickly rises from her seat, and without a word, she turns around and walks straight out the door towards Crystal Chen's infirmary.
Maybe I shouldn't have told her that way. He kind of looks at Darren, like, even though he's got the mask on, the kind of almost pleading look. Then he's like, "Well, stop her from doing something stupid."
Honestly, I value my life too much to stop her from doing something stupid. Even so, he'll follow her.
Crystal, you are in your office, I guess looking through some patient records, when there is a pounding at your door. Boom, 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 boom.
Come in.
The door swings open, and you see Niha Sharul, and even through her mask, you can see that she looks very ticked. "Dr. Chen," she says, "what is this rumor that I've been hearing about possibly removing my friend off of life support?"
Crystal, is Lun in view?
I don't know. Is Lun in view? Did Lun
Lun is
follow?
hiding behind Darren right now.
You're hiding. Well, I don't know. Is Darren? Are you guys still at the lunch at the mess hall?
No,
Darren followed here, yeah.
All right. So Darren followed behind, and Lun is behind Darren, hiding.
I think Darren's a bit of a better hiding spot than the plant before, so hopefully.
Do I roll a perception?
No, you can. I'm assuming you're gonna see them. I'll assume you can see them, all three of them. Are these rumors true or not, Dr. Chen?
Yes.
I didn't expect you to be so straightforward.
I bought her a week of time.
A week. And what exactly would you do then if she does not wake up in a week?
Then I will fulfill my promise
Your promise.
to take her off life support.
I don't know if that will go over very well with me, Dr. Chen.
I don't suppose so.
She says, she turns over to Lun and says, that woman over there saved many of the people who are staying at this vault now. Many of them would not have made it if it weren't for her. And you're just going to throw her away in the garbage.
I asked for a week.
She did try and ask for longer, to be fair.
Roll a persuasion. Lun.
Oh god. That comes. What's that come under? Sorry, that's that could have been worse. To be fair.
Yeah, that could be worse. She turns away from Lun back to the doctor, and says, why does it have to be decided upon by one person? Do I have to speak to Charles about this?
If you could convince the commander, I'm willing to listen.
If it comes to that, she says, I say that it doesn't get determined by one person. This affects everyone. I say that we put it to a vote.
That's what the Quarian ships would do.
Yes. And it's worked fine for us up to this point.
That's a fair suggestion, but I do not have the authority, ultimately.
You're the doctor. Of course you have the authority. If you didn't have the authority, then why did you even ask for an extra week?
If we run out of power, we all die.
She has a point.
You're not helping. She sneers
I
over
never
at
do.
Darren.
I never do. It's not just down to the doc, you know that.
I'm spending all of my spare time to try to revive your friend. That is the best I can do.
Roll a persuasion, Dr. Chen.
Yeah, that's a critical fail too.
Yes. You sort of hit a nerve. You hit a nerve on Neha. She actually takes Dr. Chen by the shoulders and actually slams her up against the wall. And she says, "Don't patronize me, doctor. I've seen a lot in my life up to this point. And I am not going to let someone like you take away the only friend that I've had down here."
But Lun's gonna try and reach her arm and be like, it's not gonna help if we get violent in here, Miss Cheryl.
"Oh, it helps a lot when I get violent. Trust me," she says.
Yeah, Darren's going to try and separate the two.
All right. What is Crystal Chen doing? How does she react immediately after she gets slammed up against the wall by this Quarian?
Is it lifted off the floor or no? Just against
I
the
don't
wall.
think she's strong enough to lift you up off the floor and keep you there. She was strong enough to at least hoist Aya on her shoulder, but probably not lifting you up over the floor. She just has you firmly planted against the wall. You feel like forcing your way off the wall would take some effort.
She doesn't fight back.
Okay. And Darren, you're gonna try to force the two,
Yeah.
separate the two. Roll a strength, please.
Strength. Okay, that is. Could I count melee for that?
Are you planning on punching her? Are you planning on actually attacking
No.
her? Then I wouldn't
I'm
say
planning on
melee.
attacking here, but
No.
It's worth a try. Okay.
By the way, Dark, I appreciate your patience. I'm gonna get you to you soon. I appreciate your patience.
There's something wrong there.
As we're all determining your fate, the character's fate.